Kwesen personally with court processes and not in his capacity as MP. This followed the revelation that the registrar had been unable to serve the MP through Parliament because the Speaker was out of the country. Lawyers in the case, including the Attorney General, urged the courts to issue the order insisting Mr. Kwesen cannot hold himself as a legislator. A Cape Coast High Court in July 2021 called for fresh elections in Assin North after ruling that Mr. Kwesen was not eligible to contest the polls. Court correspondent Joseph Akable has the rest of the story.
The court was informed by the registrar that the MP had not been served with the current processes. The registrar explained that attempts have been made to serve through the clerk's office and was directed to serve the MP through the office of the Speaker, but the Speaker of Parliament is currently out of the country. The lawyers in the matter raised issues about the fact that there's a current judgment that indicates that he can no longer hold himself as a member of Parliament, and so he should have been served personally. So the court adjourned proceedings, asking that the MP or the former MP, as per the judgment of the Cape Coast High Court, is served personally. Evans Nemaku, who is Director of Elections for the governing MPP, insists that the MP cannot continue to perform parliamentary duties.
The party at this stage has instituted a fresh case at the Supreme Court for an interpretation of Article 94 2A, because we've realized that going to court at the High Court in Cape Coast and the Court of Appeal also in Cape Coast, the lawyer for the NDC MP for Assin North has been raising the issue of interpretation of Article 94 2A. And we think that this has to be settled. And so today we are at the Supreme Court to seek interpretation of Article 94 2A. In addition to this, we are also asking the court to enjoint the gentleman not to hold himself as such. As we are aware, the High Court of Cape Coast has already given judgment and has given orders to the Electoral Commission to conduct fresh elections in view of the fact that the gentleman was not qualified when he applied to contest on the ticket of the NDC in the said constituency. So these are the two main reasons why we are here at the Supreme Court.
The case therefore remains outstanding as the Supreme Court has adjourned it indefinitely. There's another leg of it that will come up at the Supreme Court next week, while the pending appeal remains at the Court of Appeal. For JoyNews on the Supreme Court, my name is Joseph Akable.
The minority in Parliament is accusing President Akufo-Addo of deliberately using the court to frustrate their members and also weaken its strength. According to the minority, the NPP is making frantic efforts at the Supreme Court seeking to enjoin the Assin North MP James Kwesen and prevent him from taking part in the vote on the controversial electronic transaction levy. Deputy Minority Chief Whip Ahmed Ibrahim observed that the move undermines democratic practice.
You know, African leaders will always be like African leaders. You remember the reason why parliamentary immunities were brought about, the problems they were brought about to solve, to make sure that the executive doesn't use the court to disadvantage opposition members in parliament. And history is repeating itself. What the UP people criticize Kwame Nkrumah of, using the court to disadvantage his political opposition of their numbers, is exactly what Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is doing. Don't forget, they use the court to make sure that they prevent the same Assin North MP from coming to Parliament and voting in the election of the Speaker, which nearly brought about confusion on the floor of Parliament. Today, they are using the same court anyway of a higher rank. And my worry is how come they use the Supreme Court in matters like this. Should the Supreme Court say that the people of Assin North should not have representation in Ghana's parliament? They should be like SAR? Is that what the Supreme Court is saying? Is there a judgment that says that the Assin North people have no MP? There is no judgment of that.
But the Cape Coast High Court ruled against your MP. Of course, I know you filed an appeal and the matter is still ongoing.
They rule,
right,
and we filed an appeal. And therefore, once there's no ruling on that, he's still a member of parliament. So until there's a ruling determination on that, which says that he should not be, for the seat to be declared vacant for election, you cannot say you are enjoining him from voting in parliament until a new member of parliament is elected. Is it because of the yield levy?
What is the substitute?
It's obvious. Even the ordinary man on the street knows that the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government, the MPP, wants to use the court. And that is a warning to African democracies. And that is the reason why you are seeing military intrusion all over, because the African leaders or West African leaders are not allowing democratic institutions to operate. And when the people are pushed to the wall, democracy become extinct.
Are you suggesting that the president is using the Supreme Court?
He has. Not he is using, he has. He attempted it from day one. On the day they were trying to prevent Assin North from voting on the floor of parliament, from the party full soldier to the national chairman of the MPP, Freddie Blake, Kandapa, all of them, they were in parliament.